Sorry if you can hear me, I'm just sort of getting my ducks in a row. It's been a little while since I've done this and I just want to make sure it's working. You could probably tell me in the comments if it's working. Well, cool beans. I'm glad it is working. So, hey, Julian's here, Colin's here, Luke Peters, Daniel Spontanual, I like the name, Reese, and Ian Scott Johnson's here. Hey, Ian. So today it's very dark, isn't it? Oh, well, it's not really a problem. Today I'm looking at this clock and I've been troubleshooting. So I've got a week off work next week. So Monday through Friday. It's going to be my birthday on one of those days. I shan't tell you which one. I'm going to be... How old? Getting older. Anyway. Well into my 30s. So... What's that? Okay. So I've been looking at this clock and it's a... It's going to be a millisecond clock. So we're going to get tens of milliseconds and the hundreds of milliseconds, then onto the seconds. And I've breadboarded this thing up. I'm sure you saw it on a previous thing. If you didn't, it uses CD4026, they're CMOS devices. Now, actually, I'm going to switch over to the HEF 20. Oh no, I'm going to stay with the CD4026 and switch over to the HEF 4060. Because it can take a higher clock speed, and I need a 4 megahertz 0.096. I don't know how to say that out loud. 4,096,000 hertz. Is that right? I think that's right. So I need that as my crystal, and that's so that I can divide it down to 1 kilohertz or 1,000 hertz. And then that goes into a 4017, which divides it down by 10. And that gives me a 100 hertz output going into my 4026, which is a 7-segment driver. Now, that's driving some 7-segment displays here. And currently, these are through hole. So you'll see that I haven't really gotten very far with my layout because I've been troubleshooting. I've switched a lot of things over to sort of SMD, and I think I'm going to do the same for the 7-segment displays. Now, I have found some online. This is on AliExpress, but I intend to get them from LCSC, I think. But they're kind of pricey. So how many is this for? 5 pieces? Oh, that's a 4-segment one. Let's have a look at something else. There we go, 10 pieces. So 64 pence each, and I need 8 of them. So it's pretty pricey, but I intend to have them as soldered onto the breadboard and breadboard onto the PCB, but SMD. Now, LCSC have a similar one, the CT95565, and that is this one here. Now, it doesn't say that it's... I kind of wanted a yellowy orange one. And this one just says 605 nanometers. And that's the wavelength of light. And I kind of thought, Cheetah Kid's here. Hey, and Joy talking Dwayne Monet? I don't know if that's right. And another Danielle. And Embedded Hobbyist. Hey, Boo. How you doing? So anyway, this one here says it's 605 nanometers, and that's not quite red. Red is like around 900-ish. So I was having a look, and it says it's amber, and that's pretty close to what I want. What I really want is a yellow-green one, but I can't seem to find one that's SMD and cheap. And so it needs to be pretty cheap because I'm pretty cheap. So this is the data sheet for it. And what I plan to do is have a cutout in the board so that these are mounted on the reverse of the board, soldered on the back side and poked through the front. And then we can have some, I don't know, silkscreen artwork on the front around these LEDs. Now currently it's breadboarded up over there. I can't show you because the place is a mess, honestly. But what I've got is a button that inhibits the clock, so that's stopping it. Well, it's not a button, it's actually a toggle switch. And so I'm going to hopefully look for something similar. And that toggle switch means that it can become a clock or a stopwatch. I've also linked all the reset lines together with diodes, and that works fine. The one thing that I've started to have trouble with is individually incrementing the count. So if we jump back to the schematic view, you can see I've got one layout here, and they're largely going to be the same for each one of these. And so we'll have milliseconds, seconds, tens of seconds, single minutes, tens of minutes, single hours, and then tens of hours. And in order to set the clock, you need some way of doing that. Now that could be a push button, it could be an input that you have from a microcontroller that's set by the internet. Whatever it might be, it needs to have a way of pulsing the clock. Now the clock on this one goes straight into the clock pin. Excuse me. But on the subsequent ones, they all come from the carry out. Now, the difficulty there is the carry out has a maximum of something like 0.5 milliamps of current that it can source, yeah. So the clock in on there, it needs to be pulled low for that carry out if we're going to be having a button on it, because we want to be able to ping it high and ping it low, ping it high, ping it low. And if it's not just one single wire going to the carry out, then we need to worry about that. And so I stuck on a resistor, and it was basically too high of a resistor, and the value couldn't change quickly enough. So I'm going to have to play around with that, I think, and maybe change some values later on. But it also depends on the voltage. So I was running it at 4 volts, hoping that I could use just 3 AAA batteries, rechargeables. But it doesn't look like 4 volts is going to work very well with these 4026s. So might have to go with 9 volts, which is a little bit frightening. I'm not sure if the HEF 4060 can do 9 volts actually, so I'll have to check. But 9 volts seems weird, but that's CMOS for you. It'll go up to, I mean, 10 volts is a comfortable voltage for those ICs. I did get it right. Dwayne Monet. Julian came here to hear all about my troubles. Well, there have been lots of them with this thing. So first off, linking to how many breadboards have we got? I've got 4 breadboards. In fact, I'll bring it over and show you. Bear with me a second. Oh lordy, this wasn't a good idea. Ah! It's okay, everything's fine. Okay, here we go. This is so, oh Lord, bloody hell. This is a really bad idea, it turns out. I just like knocked things all over the place. Here we go. So this is it. Do not fall everywhere. That, oh for heaven, I can't show you. Basically, this is it on a breadboard. It is everything's going to fall off this thing. It is counting. You could probably make it out. Maybe. Okay, let's get rid of this thing. That was a bit arduous, that. So it is counting, but the problem with it is that the breadboard sort of bends and all the connections are just rubbish, and so that has been one of the biggest difficulties has been finding real problems. Not that breadboard problems aren't real, but finding actual problems with the circuit I designed, as opposed to crappy breadboard connections or wires that are sort of picking up stray signals because the ground isn't so good on them, and so my hand comes near it and suddenly you've got all this spooky kind of action going on. So you get a lot of that. Julian, you have no idea. I spent £10 on Elegoo breadboards to get all of those massively long things. Now, before I haven't finished it yet, so there's lots to learn still for me. Like, how do you calculate what pull-down resistor you need? Now, I tried to Google that today because I thought, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's figure it out. But really, the opinions are all over the place. And most people tend to go with, oh, use a 4.7K or a 10K resistor. So, I mean, I've gone with 10K because I wanted to keep the current draw down, and on the pull-ups as well. So, I don't know, it's just a weird thing. Right now, this is Corona. I'll go and grab the bottle when this is finished and show you. So mostly, what I'm doing with those pull-up and pull-down resistors, I'm using 10K and making sure it's stable. And if it is, then I'll stick with it. Because this is only for revision 1, so that's allowed. But what I wanted to do today, and what I'm going to do today, and I thought you might have fun watching me struggle with it, is make a footprint for this and do some kind of a cutout in the PCB. Now, I've never done a cutout before, so I don't know how that will go, if it will be any good. But I'm hoping it will be fairly simple. Now, I've got all the dimensions here. 21, was that? So I can get 100 pieces here for that 84. These are 6. What size are these ones? Let's have a little look. So these are 0.5 inch and these are 0.56. So they're the same, aren't they? Maybe. Let's just double check. So 12.4, 19 millimeters. That doesn't tally with what's in this. That says 21 there, so that isn't right. So I'm going to order the ones off LCSC because I trust them, and I've got some other bits in my sort of cart that I want to buy. I'm going to get one of these things. It's like a little vacuum thingamabob. And look how cheap they are, like £2. So well up for that. And this thing, which is an IC puller. I thought that was kind of interesting. And £1.19. Julian's asked, are you putting the displays through a cutout on the PCB? Yes, that's exactly what I want to do. So I want to have are they called castellated edges or castellated? I've only ever heard Sion say it and I can't remember how he pronounced it. So those will sit up against the back side of the PCB, and then this display portion will poke through the other side of the PCB. Now it looks like the display portion, if I'm reading this correctly, oh no, this bit here actually, is 3.15 millimeters above the little PCB it sits on. So we've got the thickness of the PCB which is what, maybe we can go with 1.6 millimeters up from here. So it'll just be around there. So half will be sticking out. And I think that'd be quite nice. So if I have no controls on the front, nothing, or just completely bare PCB on the front with all the displays poking through, I can space it as nicely as I want to, you know, with the milliseconds digits together, the seconds digits together, the minutes ones together with a tiny gap. And maybe I could divide down one of my clock pulses and flash some LEDs in the center bit for the clock or whatever. JW says, so basically the same as from Ali. Are you talking about these displays? I don't think they are exactly the same. This one says 21 millimeters here, and the ones on AliExpress said 19 millimeters. 2 millimeters is a fairly big deal when you're talking about doing a layout, so they don't look exactly the same to me. In fact, this dimension here is only 17 millimeters, so I'm not quite sure what they would be referring to if they were the same. So I don't know if they are exactly the same. So I'll go with one that I got a data sheet on if I'm going to be just trying to design a PCB cutout. Castellated, that's it. I now remember, thank you. Kevin O'Connell and someone else, I think. Andy Mouse, hey dude. Oh, Dirk's here as well, hey Dirk. So let's try and make this thing. See if I remember how to do it. So I have to make myself a library, right? Open library manager. Oh God, where do I, oh no, I have to do it inside here. Do I make it in here? User libraries, that's it. So new folder, I guess. SMD 7 segment, and then what is the part number? Let's copy that. Hopefully I'm doing it right. File, new library, that's it. Hey Adam. Julian's coming in. What's that term? What's the term for that? When you write something the way it should be pronounced. It's in dictionaries and stuff, isn't it? Phonetic kind of thing. Something like that, anyway. Castellated. The posh way. I love it. So now we need to do create new, is it new device? New device, I think. It's been a little while since I've done that. What's that? I can't copy that. I do know what that was. I just pasted it in there, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Great. Well done, me. Create new device. Yes. It's because it was the streaming key and I shouldn't have posted that. Oh well, I'll reset it after the stream. So now we need to, we've got our device. God, what do we do here? I cannot for the life of me remember. We need to create a symbol. Okay, this is where we draw the thing, I think. So if any of you were under the impression that I was an expert, those impressions are soon going to be blown away. I wish I had a better word for that. There is probably a better word for that. So let's draw something. Oh no, that's the wrong one. What do I want? Line, that's it. Info, name, symbols, symbols. I am not drawing an 8 in there. I'm going to do something else. We will have a little look at this one to see how it's done, because these will be the same, I think. Is there a where's the pin numbering on here? Oh, for heaven's sake, why isn't there a pin number? How do you know which one's pin 1? Oh, because it says here, I'm an idiot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, cool. That makes sense. I have no idea how to draw this in a footprint. We'll figure it out, maybe. I'm only going to stream for about an hour. How long have we been doing this for now? Half an hour? All right, we'll do an hour and a half then. Simple Electronics is here. Hello. Use Inkscape. Can you actually use Inkscape to do this? I'll give it a go in here and see what happens. The thing is, I don't need to draw the castellated edges. I'm just drawing a pad, aren't I, to put the thing on. So I don't need to worry too much about it. I just need to make sure I get them spaced apart correctly. And in fact, I think I probably want a big bloody pad because, well, you all know how ham-fisted I am at soldering. Hey, yes, here. So, how many pins do we need? According to this, we need 10 pins. Except, no, that is right. 10 pins. And they're along the top, aren't they? But we won't put them along the top. How is this other one? They're all on the side and stuff. That's cool. So we'll do that. Actually, that's not right. Pin. 1. Do we want them that spaced apart? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So we'll do it in exactly the same way. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let's double check what those pins do. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. What's missing there? 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does nothing apparently. Okay, we're going to have a little read because I don't want to miss a pin if it's meant to be an extra ground. So these are common cathode displays, which means your output device is sourcing the current and it is sinking to ground through those cathodes. I don't see anything about pin 5. Well, we don't necessarily need it. It's just an extra. Big pads, there's no current issues here. So we'll take one out. We'll just have one ground. That's not a problem. I do love a not connected pin, Julian. It's just another thing that you don't have to worry about, right? So we've got all our pins in. We'll do the naming bit now, I think. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay. No, I want... Is it that? That should be one that's name. Screw it, we'll just select that and there we go. It was R/10. It's that thing there. Okay. So A, B, C, D, E. Now, so I don't know if any of you use Eagle too much, or the right hand side of the datasheet says not connected, and I've just skated over it. Right hand side of the data pin. It's right there. How have I missed that? Bloody hell. There's something about streaming or talking to people that makes you really mess up. Christian Iverson says, many watts present tonight. Don't blow the breaker. Is Dustin here? Hey, Dustin. Oh, we've got Matteo as well. And Jesper. Hadn't noticed you there, Jesper. Right, so what are we doing here? Oh yeah, let's just double check. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So no missed letters. Sometimes you get that. And then this one's going to be ground. I'm probably not using the same naming conventions as this. No, they've put cathode. I don't care. And this one's going to be our decimal point. Okay, should we put a big 8 in there? We'll have to make it massive. It's not going to look remotely. It's not going to look remotely like you see on like flipping heck. That's a bit big. Oh God. 2. It's not going to look remotely like you see on professional things. That's getting there. No. God's sake. 0.9. That'll do. That is the way it's going to be. I mean, what's the difference? Same, right? Okay, that's fine. In fact, we could probably do it with... how do I select that now? I might have to do it again. If I change it to vector, it should look a little different. Oh, it doesn't look very nice though. Fixed? Oh God, that's not right. Like, there's no font thing. That will do. Oh, the dot. Do we need a dot on there as well? Do they have one on the... Oh, they do. Right, we'll do a little circle. What? It's like making a snowman. That's not quite what I wanted. I'll just do an actual dot. How's that? Boop. There we go. I think I cried a little bit there. Alright. Let's save that as an Eagle library so that we don't forget. Oh look, those are the other ones I created since I formatted my computer. God, that's a bit depressing. So since February, was it March? It might have been March. I've only created 2 new libraries. This is called that. There we go. Okay. So there's our device. There's our symbol. Nothing else needed with that. Now we need to do a footprint. Now this, if you haven't done this before, Julian, I don't think you can change the font in there. It doesn't seem like it. If you haven't created a library before, you have a device which can have loads of different footprints, but they have all the same connections. And you have a symbol which is the same for all of the devices or all of the footprints. And then each footprint can be, you can have an SMD one, you can have a DIP one. Well, that's it. I don't think there are any other things. There's either surface mount soldering or through hole. That's pretty much it. So now we're going to create ourselves a footprint. But we need some information first. So 0.56 SMD, I'm going to call it. Oasis Tech, maybe? Was it TK? Or was there? Yeah, TK, of course. 0.56 SMD. Can I not add a space in here? Apparently not. Okay, now when it comes to creating libraries, this is basically the hardest bit, I think. Well, maybe the hardest bit is picking the freaking component, because that seems to take a while. Okay, it's been like 30 minutes and I've managed to drink an entire pint of beer. So this is always difficult as well, because your scale on here isn't necessarily the scale it ends up being on here. Every time I've ever designed a footprint. In fact, let me just add a part and show you. Maybe that TPL is in here. I can't see the library I created, but let's have a look. See if it's in there. Did I make one for that? No, I don't think that was me. Open library manager. Available. No, I don't know where it is. They come out massive usually because I've done it to the wrong scale. Right, so let's just go for it, shall we? So this is our footprint. Oh, it's the symbols that come out massive. So our footprint is down here. Now, why do they have to do it on this? Oh, they haven't done it on the side. That's the top and the bottom. So we want 16.5. God, how far is it across? God, we have to do some calculating. You might be able to see it from the top. So across is 13.5. So with the footprint, we get to draw some place stuff. So we'll just start it here, and we want it to be 16.5 across. And we'll just leave it there, and then we'll edit it. Properties from, we'll start from 0, thank you, because that makes it easier. And we'll change our grid to millimeters because mils is rubbish. I don't know why people do that. Properties from 0 to 13.5. Is that right? That is right. From 20 to, what's that going to do? Oh yeah. Okay. 13.5. No, that's not right. What I wanted to do, 0 to 13.5. That's right. Oh no, don't tell me GBS Engineering's here. He sent me an email. I've been terrible, and I saw that he replied, and I didn't get back to him because I was busy, and then, but really I'm not busy because it's lockdown. So how much time do I have? Like loads. It's really dark. I'm gonna get a light. Sorry, Howard. That's Dubious, by the way, his actual name. Why is it out of focus? Probably because it's too dark. Yeah. I'll reply tomorrow. I promise. Maybe. Possibly. Where did the light go? Thing is, if I turn the big light on, everything looks rubbish. Like you can't see the cool camera. Okay, hang on. I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to go and find it. I didn't realise I turned my mic off, sorry. Let's see if I can put this light down somewhere where it... There we go. Hopefully that should be a bit more illuminated and it doesn't ruin the lovely camera that I put back there. So, I'll reply to you tomorrow, Devious. I've got one of these today. This is a massive... I can't even see myself. Hang on. Let me just change this so that I can see what I'm showing. It's a big bottle of Corona, which is why it fit in a pint glass earlier. So this is what we're drinking today. Usually you would have this with lime, but I'm not fancy, so we're just having it normally out the bottle. That's good stuff. It's the beer bringer. Virus beer indeed. Hi Corona. So what was I doing? That's the danger when you walk away from these things. You almost immediately forget what you were doing. So, oh yeah, I wanted to measure this out so I can draw it exactly. So we've got 13.5. Did I do that right? Length 13.5. What? Did I move it? From 0 to 0.8, that's the height, to 13.508. So this is what? Is that the height of the thing? Ah, no, it's where it's positioned vertically. So let's make that 0, 0. There we go, that's better. So that means when we move it, we'll grab it from the bottom left-hand corner. And then we need to go up by, what is that, 17, not 17 millimeters. Hello. Or is that going to be our gap? I don't quite understand this. So we've got an arrow pointing to here to say it's 1.5 millimeters. That's fine. But what's this? What is that small gap there? Interesting. Incidentally, I've got a lot of tabs open. I tell you what. Just because that's slightly embarrassing. There we go. Solved. So I want to know what this gap is. Brian says that's not a lot of tabs. No, I know that you probably have a better computer than me that's able to handle more, but mine's struggling. So, what is that? It's not listed anywhere. But it is. It's listed there-ish, and it tells me how far apart these should be, and that should be 16.5. So that's the top and the bottom, isn't it? Sorry, I know this must be weird scrolling like this. So 24, 16.5. So if I take away 16.5 from 17, that means it's 0.25. That little gap there. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's good. So, where were we? 13.5. So I need to be Oh no, hang on, I've automatically forgotten. 17. That's not right. Because this line stops here, so there's another 2.5, so it's 0.75. I think. Does that make sense to you? So we've got 17 millimeters from... That's not even exact. Look at that. Okay, so 17 millimeters. I think 17.25. That's what I'm going to go with. So what is the exact size of this bit? Interesting. Brian, you haven't seen the half of it. It's like where is it? Is it the symbol? Check this out. That's my 7-segment symbol. $17 should be the case. So the gap is 0.5 millimeters on each side. Let's check. So 17. So that's 1.5. I think that's got to be 0.25 though, because if you divide that into... maybe it is. If you divide that into 3... I mean, it's close. I don't know if it's exactly right. So that was 17.5. I'm going to scroll down, close your eyes. And that was 16.5. So sort of claiming to be 0.25. Scrolling up, close your eyes. All right, we'll just have to trust it. So I want 17 from top to bottom. So from 0 to... why is it saying 600 again? The grid's obviously changed back. Annoying. To... was it? Oh God. Don't automatically forget everything. No, I wanted 17.5. No, 17.25. And then we can just fill the rest. Oops. Okay, we'll have to... because my grid's not set up for this, I'll have to change it. Nope. Yeah, that was right actually. So I want 13.5, 13.5, that's the way, and then that needs to be 17.25 as well, and then re-square the square, I guess. Still waiting to hear all your troubles. Well, I'm on my own during lockdown, so there's one of them. Well, I don't know if it's lockdown anymore. It seems to be some other thing these days. So yeah, there's that. That's probably the biggest trouble I have, honestly. Embedded Hobbyist says, so they give you a footprint to copy. Yeah, any manufacturer worth their salt will give you a footprint for their component, so you don't have to buy one before you think about implementing it into your product. You've got to know whether it's going to work for your design. and then 13.5, 12.5, which means it's 0.5 millimeters before we get to the first pad. And the pads are, whoops, scroll out so it's not so nausea inducing. 3.7 by what? 1.8. Okay, sorry. I was just kind of didn't understand why that wasn't like this. It seems really strange. 3.75 with arrows either side, and then 1.8 with arrows on the opposite sides. A bit strange. Yeah, the lockdown thing's been pretty difficult. Not seeing my friends and stuff. I mean, I used to play football twice a week. Not that I'm some big jock or whatever. It's just like I like running around. Sports fun, hanging out with people's cool. And so I miss that, and I've tried to go for a run occasionally, but blooming heck, is that boring. I almost swore then, that was close. So 1.8 by 3.75. So we're going to create a rectangle now, and not as that. We'll do it on the top. And then hopefully we can edit that and just tell it to be whatever size we want. I think so. Yeah, we can. It's not straight from the edge though, is it? So I'm just opening my emails there. Great. It is. Was it 0.25 from the edge? No, 0.5. That makes me think that. Oops. Are there any other measurements here that tell me? I don't think there are. It's got to, like, figuring these things out is a chore. So from the edge here, there's no frickin' measurement, is there? From there to there. We've only got the actual PCB measurement, which is 12.5, and then no measurement from that bit to that bit. That's annoying. Yeah, the 0.65 spacing is fine, but it's how to fit it in here. I'm going to have to guess that's 0.25 because it looks very similar to this gap that we figured out earlier. I assume they did it to scale. So 0.25, so 0.5 from the edge, I'm going to go for. From 0.5 to 0, I think. No, from 0 to 0.5. Does that put it in the right place? No, it doesn't. Properties. 0, 0. No, that's wrong as well. What am I doing here? That's right. Okay. Now I remember. Is that just going to make it thinner? No, it puts it in the bloody wrong thing. So they're 1.8, aren't they? No, 3.75 to minus 3.75. So from 0. Well, that seems pretty massive. Is that right? No. $1.8. That doesn't seem right at all. Oh, Andy, you're assuming I know what I'm doing. So 3.75 is the height. Maybe they need like some big old spacing for all the big fat solder blobs that I'm going to put on there. That's entirely possible. I need it to be 1.8, so 0.5. And then this needs to add on 0.5, which is 2.3. So that's the first one. And then if I do view grid, size, how do we do this? Hey, Bleep Track. Everyone say hi to Bleep Track. So, I need my grid spacing to be the same spacing as this, so 0.65, and then I should be able to just duplicate it. Wow, it's surely that doesn't work out. Let's just check that's in the right place still. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do it and we'll see what happens. Because it's not multiples of 0.65, right? From the origin. Because it's 1.8, which isn't a multiple of 0.65, the grid won't work for it. So 0.65 plus 1.8. So how do I set that in the grid spacing? I'll just type in 0.5, so what, 2.45? Will that work? Yes, it might. Andy Mouse. No, it wasn't. It was Roter Fruchtzwerg. Roter Fruchtzwerg. I don't know what that means. Bleep Track. It sounds German. You may know. Oh, that looks not right. At all. What is the difference between them? So that is 4.75 and this one is 2.3. So that should be 1.8, 3.2.1 plus 0.65, 2.1, 2.75. No. What? Have I done this wrong? That definitely ain't right. Let's draw a line because it says 24 millimeters. No, it doesn't. What do I want? 1.8. So we start from 0.5 to 2.3. Oh, I've done it wrong because I've done my grid spacing wrong. It should be 1. No, I have done it right. Do we need to add a 5 on? Let's try this. Whoa, that's wrong. And we'll just delete those other ones. Boop, boop. And then we'll copy that. No, that's wrong as well. Ignore the outline. But that's based on the thing. That's based on this badger here. Oh, if I can get up there. For heaven's sake. There we go. So I should be able to, okay. Well, you're probably right. In that I can probably, if I move my outline without this silly grid, change it to, I don't know, 1 millimeter. Maybe not 1 millimeter. 0.1 millimeters. Hell yeah, there we go. The outline has nothing really to do with anything except for just judging whether you've done it bloody correctly. And that looks all right. You're right. The outline does matter. You have to be able to see what's going on. I need to know the bounds of the thing so that I can, in fact, what I need to do is set a larger outline here as a cutout. So do I do that in the footprint? I think I might have to. I'm just going to let's change this to 0.2, and then I want to move these down a touch. So by 0.5 millimeter ish, it's 0.4, but whatever. Whoa, undo. Because I'm going to have a cutout in the board where these are going to sit through, and that outline does not account for that. So let's copy these. Oh, you cannot shift click. Flip. Let's change our grid to be 1. And then maybe it will duplicate them all. Who knows? No. Oh no, I didn't do that properly. So if I click on copy now, I can right click and say copy group. There we go. That's closer to what I want. But they could probably be a bit closer. I don't really want much of a gap. So view grid 0.2. And this should move the group as well. Whoa, what's happened there? Cancel that. About 1.5, that's fine. No. What do you mean the left pad moved? Oh, flip. Thank you. Look at that. That's annoying. Okay. Thank you for the spot there. I was holding shift. Not that that is any kind of excuse, but I figured that holding shift would like limit it to the one axis. It doesn't, obviously. Simple Electronics said, are you going to mount the 7 segment from behind the board? Yes, I am. It's going to go through a cutout onto the other side of the PCB. So all the electronics are going to be contained on the reverse of the PCB, or the front, however you choose to see it, I guess. And so they'll just poke through, and then buttons will be on the reverse as well. So the whole front side will just be the digits. Ethan's here. Hey, Ethan. How you doing, mate? Ethan's got the coolest profile picture of anybody I know. And that might even include Gerald, and I made a badge about his profile picture. So that looks okay. So let's copy them. Not everything, just copy those. I wish there was a way to limit the axis that you're moving these on. Copy group. So we want to be 1, 2, 3, about 4 across. Okay. That looks right-ish. No, it's 1.5. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Too much. Flipping heck. This is what happens when you mix grids. Don't anyone lecture me about it, because I do it a lot. Stop. Why is it moving it? I want to select. There we go. Now I want to change the grid. To 0.2, no. 0.025. I mean, this is silly dangerous, really. Like, all of this could go. Yeah, no, that's no. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, do you know what? I don't need to do that at all. And I've been messing about with this, so let's just do that. 1, fine, whatever. I should have just set my grid and started moving these from 0.5 to 0.23. So it's 2.3 is what I want this at, right? Which is where it is. Let's draw a line and check. You're going to snap to a grid. You absolute arse. It looks right to me. I feel it's right. What do you reckon? Brian. And dubious. You're ridiculous. But thank you very much. You are very charming people. You can move them up and down with arrow keys to restrict one axis. No, you cannot. Can you? No freaking way. No. What? My arrow keys don't work. It doesn't work for me. I do like the cool little animated thing. Why? Don't give me money either. I would make a better channel if I was after money. I seem really unappreciative. I don't mean it that way. Anyway, so this is now our footprint. Shall we put a big 8 in there as well? I think we should. 8. Okay, so this is going to be... Is it T-place? We'll look at that in a minute, Andy. I'm sort of riding the wave right now. Oh, flipping heck. It's a little big. I mean, it would make for a fun layout. This is kind of difficult. I think I need 10. No, a little bigger than 10, 12. That is the perfect kind of ridiculous. That's it. And a dot. There we go. Amazing. So that's even good. Well, it won't in my case because we're going to have a dimension layout to cut it out, I guess. But that was going to get printed on the circuit board. So let's see if we can put this on the dimension layer and cut this out. Not quite this much. I'll tell you what, we'll draw it and then we'll put the placement in ourselves. I don't see, I've never done this before, so I don't know if that dimension layer is going to translate to my actual PCB board layout. So if it's going to cut it out or not. So let's find out what we need to do here. So 1 to 17, well actually I want it to be 0 minus 0.25 to bring it in there. Oh no, I don't want it. What's happened there? Why has that done that? These coordinates really confuse me. So -1 minus 0.5. What's that going to do? Okay. Probably want to be a bit more than that. 7.5 maybe. A little gap's okay, right, in the PCB. Okay. And then we want to bring that up by 0.75. No, that's not where I want it to be. That's quite... How's that distance different to there? 17.75. Hang on a minute. I'm getting confused. 13.7. Okay. So 14.25. No, see, I'm getting this wrapped around my head. Don't forget, if you're putting this as a hole through the board, the pins will need to be backwards on the footprint. What? What do you mean backwards on the footprint? Won't it just flip with the board? I'm going to connect them to the right pins, so hopefully it should all translate, right? Don't be giving me no wrong answers now. I'm not quite sure why this isn't behaving. So from, I don't know why is that 14? 0.75 to 14. Why is it 0.75? Let's change this to 0 and just see where it goes. So that's not what I wanted to happen. I'm just going to change everything. .4. What? Because we moved it. Because we're an idiot. I've forgotten. Sorry. I forgot that we moved this around to look pretty accurate. That's not right. What? Minus. There we go. What do you mean? It won't translate. So if I flip it over onto the back side of the board, those pads won't be on the same side. Am I saying we a lot? I say we all the time. It means I spread the blame out. So that's minus 0.4 as well. except it's not, because we need to add 0.25 to that. So 0.65, that's it. So the cutout's going to stretch onto my pads, so I have to move them down. Maybe 0.25 is too much. Maybe 0.15. It cuts it kind of fine. Yeah, no, that was right. So if I give myself 1.5 millimeters, 0.15 millimeters. They'll be flipped. So I just need to make them on the bottom layer. Because if I electrically connect them with the symbol, each one of those pins, it should automatically translate when you flip it to the other side of the board. Right? Oh! I now know what you mean. Yeah. Because I'm not flipping it to the other side of the board. I'm moving it to the other side of the board through the same, like, plane. So I'm not flipping it, because then it would be facing the other direction. What I'm doing is just looking at it from behind the board. So I need to flip the pins. Fuck. Okay. Shiz the bed. So I need a mirror, right? So I need to get a mirror. I need some matches. I don't know what I'm going to need to figure this out, honestly. Flipping heck. This is like, I had that Vistorama projector, right? And I was trying desperately. So I drew a diagram of how the light went through the thing. And I was like, why isn't it flipped around? Because there's a mirror and there's a lens, and then trying to figure out how the light bounced around and didn't get flipped around was just like, what? Okay, I totally get it. 2 beers down and I still get it. No, we don't need 2 footprints. I'm only doing a 1 footprint. We'll just change the name of this one to be, I don't know, Bizarro, maybe. That's like some Superman thing, I think. So this is 0.65. That's right to... Will that be 0.65 as well? Yes, it will. I don't know whether the cutout's going to work. We might have to do the cutout and put the footprint on it, to be honest, because I've never done this before. So we need to add some more to this. 0. Was it 1.5 we were doing? 4.25. That doesn't seem right. I'm sure it'll work out. From 13.25. 13.25 seems too much. $14.2. Where's the 14 coming from? Why 14? It is too much. $13.1 plus 2.5, so 13.35. Maybe. 13.35. 13.35. Make a look. Are you afraid of danger, Dave Darko? Also, hello. and Defpom. Hey dude, how you doing? Defpom's asked, what am I doing? Well, what I'm trying to do is fix some problems. Not problems, they're not even problems. So I've been making this clock that does milliseconds in tens and hundreds and then seconds, tens of seconds. It's basically a big old clock with 8 digits. And it's all CMOS based. We're running off a 4060 and a 4017 to divide the 1000 hertz or 1 kilohertz down to 100 hertz. Is it 100 hertz? Yeah, 100 hertz for the tens and then the tens of millis, whatever. Anyway, God, these 2 beers have made me talk like an idiot. And so right now I'm designing a footprint for some LEDs that I like the look of. These ones. And they are SMD LEDs. And I thought, oh, wouldn't it be really, really easy just to put those on the back side of a board and do a cutout and like push them through so all you see is the LEDs. Well, it turns out muggins and baggins, I don't know what I'm saying. People in the chat have decided to tell me for some reason that I'm wrong. Yeah, it turns out I'm really bloody wrong. It's totally silly what I've started doing. But thankfully, they've also told me the right idea in that I need to flip everything. I need to mirror everything rather than just... I assume that Eagle will just figure out what I put on the back side of the board. But it's not thinking about that plane. So if you were to flip it, so you had this, if you flip it, you get to see this side. But I want to put it on the back side of the board and see it from the other side. So yeah, it will flip it, but not the right way, sadly. So back to this. So it's super rough. It doesn't look remotely like the lovely thing that we've got here. In fact, what does it look like on the board? Look at that. And here's mine. Fucking amazing. Look at it. Uncanny. Really is uncanny. Yeah, I do need to mirror and up flip. So that means if I were to do that, this one goes over here, this one goes over here, that one stays where it is, vice versa. Oops, a daisy. But that's okay, I can do that when I'm connecting them up. I don't need to worry about it right now. Those can still stay. We'll put them as bottom pads, right? We'll do them as bottom pads. They're not going to be on the top. Is that the usual colour for the bottom layer? I thought it was much bluer than that. I kind of like it in that weird cyan. It looks good. The cutoff seems a little off. It does, doesn't it? But that's okay. I'm not worried. We'll just move it, right? Is that better, Dave? I'm not worried. It is a little off, but I can't be bothered to fix the grid to do it. It's fine. There's plenty of pad to go around there, isn't there? Oh, that's wrong. For heaven's sake. Come on, that'll fit, won't it? Well, if I were to put this on the bottom layer, oh, frig it. We'll figure it out when we're wiring them up. We're done with this bit. So now we have to go to our device. What was it called? This thing. Okay, and then we add a part. We'll select this monstrosity. There we go. And then we just connected it. Oh no, we have to create a package first. Sorry, I've forgotten. Add a local package. Footprint doesn't have enough pads. Does it not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hang on a minute. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I not tell them there were pads? What's SMD? Oh, did I have to do it as these? Flip. I had to do it as these bloody things. Can I just name these? Let's see. Name. No. Oh, for heaven's sake. Just chill. Just chill. It's fine. Oh. It's 9:30. I've had 2 of these now. I kind of just want to say to the whole thing, but I'm not going to. What size are these? Width 70.86. Fuck, for heaven's sake, come on now. Millimeters, please. 1.8 by 3.75. Okay. Pad. .8 by 3.75. Fine, we'll do this again. Have I got 5? Yeah, okay. Fudge. There's no fudge here. Does it rename them if I delete this? It'd be nice if it did. No, I'm just going to start at pin 2. That's all right. I'm not worried. So now we just copy the blue and details from here. 0.523. And we'll delete it in a second. No, just move that. Well, why can't I put it exactly there? Why do I only get one set of coordinates for this thing? Oh, this only has one set of coordinates too, but it's a square, so it has all of the sides. So from 0.5 to 17.65, is that right? Oops, I've put 0.6. No. 2.3? Yeah, that seems right. Stop. I can't select the damn thing. I need a smaller grid. I mean, that's close enough. Look, that, I mean, when I say close enough, I mean that we'll move them later, but that's not close enough, is it? Grid. I just want to get it close, and then once it's close, we'll... Oh, actually, that works quite well. That's fine. Let's just delete that. Oh, don't delete that yet. Look, you may all be moaning in the background. I don't know, but sorry. It's too late at night to worry about. Oh, that is close. That's close enough, isn't it? It's close enough. Oh, I was going to put the pads on the bottom layer, wasn't I? I did that with my drawn out things, which I thought would be fine. I thought I could just name them as a pad, obviously not. Layer. Don't, if you move when I change you to the bottom layer. No, okay, good. For now, I'm not going to change them all to the bottom layer because I want to be able to distinguish between the pads that I've laid and pads that I haven't. This is going to make it well hard to figure out which ones to. We're going to have to shift those a little. Although I'm so zoomed in, that's like marginal difference, isn't it? In fact, these need to come down anyway because we've got that cutout. God, it's going to look really bad. I can feel judging eyes. Please remember that everything is basically entitled crap in my whole repertoire. I'm just going to read the chat for a minute. Oh, you can do a pop-out chat. Well, there you are. Oh God. Anyway, I don't want to think about the mirroring bit yet. I'm not ready for it. Essentially, it'll be exactly the same. So pin 1 will be pin 1 still, but it'll be on the other side of the board. And so I won't be flipping it. This will just be, oh, for heaven's sake, I don't really know. I'm not ready to think about it. Where did the chat go? All right. Andy Calloway says fudge. Well, that's a good, that's a good, fairly broad description of what's been going on. Robbie says, I see no possible cause for error looming. I mean, there are many. See, Def Pond's commenting here, and he's really clever, and so I hate when he comments because he'll obviously point something out that I've done wrong. Oh, Matteo, don't confuse me even more. But the pins are soldered on the top layer, just upside down, or they soldered on the bottom. They'll be soldered on the bottom layer, looking out to the top layer. So it's exactly the same, except it's a mirror of what's... It's just the top, but on the back. I don't know. I don't know. The point of having the hole is so that you can see the device. So you see this through the top layer, but you don't see the pads. So all the pads are on the back. Adam says this is another crap badge. It's not going to be another crap badge. This is just... I mean, I've been on this like CMOS journey, like exploring loads of CMOS ICs. I think maybe because I'm afraid of programming, but maybe something else. But I've been on this little journey doing that for a while, and well, years like now. And this is kind of like a, not really a culmination of it, because it's essentially the binary crap badge, right? What crap badge? It's not even a crap badge. The binary coded decimal clock, but in an evolved form. So this is like the culmination of that. And then, since Liz off of Blitz City DIY has agreed to do this project with me, and she basically threw shade at my Arduino CMOS foundations and said maybe I should try MicroPython, which I have done stuff with MicroPython, by the way. It looks like this. I might just ditch the CMOS for a while. It might just be something I don't do for a while. Because I think I've done a lot of stuff that I want to do. I think timing and logic is basically most of the things that you can do with CMOS. You can't do a lot more, but it is super fun and great not to have to program stuff. So yeah, that's basically what this project's about. It's about saying this is how much I've learned and this is the culmination of it. I'm not saying it's all I'm going to learn, but it's part of it. I mean, this schematic layout and part that I'm creating is not a reflection on everything I've learned about CMOS ICs or how they work. Look at that number 8. Jeez. Sven asks, what PCB software do you use? Well, I'm using Eagle. You can see up here, it's the free version. I was using, excuse me, the education version, but I don't need it, and so I just got rid of it. So I work for an educational institution, so I can get software like that for free, but lots of other people can't. So if I'm doing a video, they can't copy the same thing as me, but I don't need the massive layout that you can get with that, so this is fine for me. Embedded Hobbyist said, no, Dave, you're just 30 years behind. Oh, God, Ethan, why have you put... I'm not a polyglot. A veritable CMOS piece de resistance. Oh, it's that term. Capo Steve is here. Hello, Capo. Dare I say you're behind the 8 ball with this project? Right, so I mean, it's fairly close. We're just going to... Right, so don't do this. Don't piss around with your grid, because it's one of those things where it just gets you into more and more... The more you change it, the more... I've just done it wrong. The more you change it, the more you fiddle with it, the more things go wrong. Okay. And I'm only doing it by eye. This is... oh dear. This is absolutely in no way scientific. But if you do wish to drink bleach, then I would encourage you to do so. That's scientific, right? Tongue at a right angle kind of thing. I mean, if they don't look close enough to you, they're just close enough, right? They are. Delete, not that frickin' dimensionlet. Okay. Layer settings, hide the bottom layer, please. Why have I deleted things? What? Oh yes, edit, redo, 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 edit, undo. Because I put some on the bottom layer, but not all of them. And the top layer back again, please. And now hide the bottom layer. Oh. Oh yeah, I remember. Sorry, I'm arranging, like, I get to meet someone tomorrow in real life. I'm going to go for a walk with a mate of mine. And he's just replied. Okay. He wants to just go to a park, which is fine. I mean, I think that's what you're allowed to do. So, Leia, I've lost the chat again. Hang on. There it is. I'll put it over here. Here's Johnny. He's going to say something in a minute, I'm sure. He's got a fact he likes to tell people. Haven't you, Johnny? Yeah, I put no notice out about this at all because I realised I had a couple of beers in the fridge. And, well, I've got 3 of these, actually. I've got another one that I could have. And I figured... Oh, for heaven's sake. That. And I figured, why am I doing this when I could have the input of all of these intelligent folks on the old YouTubes? That is our footprint with a really dodgy, like, thing. But whatever. It'll work. Hopefully. You're going to have to excuse me. I really need to nip to the little boy's room. I'll be back in a second. Oh, I didn't know you could hear the fan. I don't know if you can hear it. I'm going to change that. Hang on a second. I can do that in the filters. Okay, you should no longer be able to hear the fan. Good. It's this. It's a Reaper plugin. You're able to like subtract noise from whatever. Hopefully, it doesn't make me sound like a robot. Johnny says this screwed up. Then thanks, mate. Right, BRB. I need to go to. That's just in case I have my flies undone when I'm still coming into the room. Right, so we're going to connect this up now, aren't we? So save, device, this, hopefully this works. Connect. What? Add local package. That package. Now, I don't remember whether we need to do any kind of fancy things here. I've not looked at chat since I disappeared, so I've basically missed it. So sorry. So we haven't connected anything. If I connect them on the bottom layer, what's it going to do? I can't figure out this mirror thing. And pin 1 starts from there, so oh, here he goes. Johnny's on it again. This is Johnny, 50 million views with no videos. Just one about some awesome CNC type deal. Okay, so pin 2 was 10 actually. 10, 11, 12. Okay, so 10, 9. So that is pin. So A is what? A is pin 7. Oh God, why didn't I do this right? Hang on. Cancel. Can we change the name? Yes, we can. Okay, good. So I want that to be 1 is E, 2 is D. Oh, this makes it easier. 3 is C. 4 is D, the decimal point. 5 5 is not connected, as we know, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is... And I know there might be some weird flip thing going on. We'll just figure it out. We'll see if it works. Colin, I love it. I'm sorry, Johnny. You're great, really. Even just for the hashtag bants. Hang on, hashtag bants. Hey, Def Bomb, I saw a video, I've not watched it yet, about that you posted about Siglent. What's the deal there? Is it like... So, if you head over to Def Bomb's channel, I'm not going to read... Your name's far too long, Def Bomb. So he's got this video about some kind of a free giveaway. I haven't watched it yet, but put some details in the chat. I'm sure people will be interested. I'll tell you what, I'll make you one of those moderators. So you can post a link if you want. Hoxtop, hi. So he said, my method to get the pads in the correct places is to set the first 1 to 0, 0, set the grid and the space. Yeah. I mean, I always have the best intentions and then it all just goes to pot when I just come up against any kind of adversity. I'm going to put the rest of this in the other beer that I went and got. Probably frothed it up loads, but whatever. So that's Corona finished with. I hope you're all happy. Done you a service there. What was the next one? Pad 6 is B. Then we've got pad 7 is a G9F. And that one's G and D. Should I call it G and D? Probably not. Common cathode, we'll call it that. Save. A to A, B to B, C to C, D to D, DP to DT, whatever I said. That. Hang on a minute. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, DP, G and D, and not connected. Okay, so nothing on that pad. Save. I mean, now we're at the point where I can actually add this to... I can actually add this to my design. Flippin' heck, this is the scary bit. So, open Library Manager. It's not in my design right now, so we can look for it. So we go to Documents, Eagle, Libraries, toss whatever. Toss whatever? No, that's what it's called. That's the actual code name. I wasn't being rude. It's toss F51. Oh god. Hopefully I should be able to find it in here. There it is. Oh god, is this going to look... Oh, available. Is what I wanted. Oh, it's not there. Available. W is after T, David. Why can't I see it? I don't know why I can't add it. Hang on a second. Ah. It was a little window over here, so I can... That looks janky as. Oh my god. Look at that. Well, that did not turn out the way I expected. For heaven's sake. Well, it works just fine, right? Look at it. Look, I told you they come out a lot bigger than I expected as well. Every single time. Look at the size of that damn thing. I've only got enough space in these boxes for that. I'm going to have to delete those boxes and start again. Oh, jeez. Oh, no. All right, well, I tell you what, we'll move that out so we can create ourselves some room. I've got this weird habit of saying room. I don't know how you say room. Does anyone say room as in R-O-O-M? I say room, like R-U-M almost. Rum. Right, well, all of this can go. And we'll move that. Oh, I kind of want to move the whole thing. All right, we'll just move it down here. And then we delete that. Oh, God, imagine. I don't even know what it looks like in the actual design. It's going to look awful on the PCB. For heaven's sake. Okay, we'll move it there. Room. Valley Girls. Is that San Francisco? No, wait, I don't know what Valley is. Is it San Francisco? San Fran. Or the city, as I've heard it called. Only from Eddie Izzard, who's a great comedian, by the way. So move that there. LED ground. Boop, 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 boop. You have to make that noise, by the way, when you move some things around in software. It helps. This is the ugliest. The absolute oh, wait. No, hang on a minute. We're going to have problems here. A, B, C, C, D. Ah, we're going to have to move everything down a bit. That's cool. We can do that. UCS is not used. So UCS is unconnected C segment. It's essentially a divide by 12 pin on the 4026, which I guarantee you basically nobody ever uses. I've seen no documented use of it ever. What is that? Carry out. No, that's not carry out. That's G. Okay, I can go there. Oh, no. How do I say that? Shit the bed. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I'll be there in a minute.
PronounceNames.com.
Myco. Thank you. Thank you, PronounceNames.com. Myco, nice to see you. Hopefully none of you all heard that. Amazing. Exactly, Andy, exactly. Who said that? Who could it have been? What a world we live in these days. Where's F going? Oh, right. Flip's sake. Delete. Well, I'm making a real hash of this. Luckily, so it's super modular, this clock. So I can copy this, bring it over here, here, and here. And all I need to do is change the clock from 100 millisecond, 100 hertz to the carry out of this one. And then bring the carry out to the next one, and the next one, and the next one. And then there's some funky stuff that we have to do with like resetting on a 5, or rather a 6, and on the 2 for the hours and stuff, for the tens of hours. I'm not sure Myco really got it. that I was playing his name. I don't know if everyone heard it, honestly. Let's just get rid of all this. And that. What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? Just bring all this down, maybe. So F can come down here. E can come down a bit. Or D, you can stay where you are. So I'm doing this now because I've got the week off next week. And mainly I took the week off because it's my birthday. But I also took it off because I got loads of holiday to take, which is annoying. I don't really take holiday a lot. If I go somewhere, I take it, but otherwise I don't really have a reason to, or don't really feel like I need to. So I've got this week off, and Liz off of Blitz City DIY has decided that she this looks so shit. That she's interested in doing a project, and I've been working on that. I've actually done some actual proper work with an old piezo transducer on it, because I knew Liz was going to say yes. So the moment I did the video, I just started work, and Adam says happy 21 again. Yeah, not quite. God, I'm not even far off double that, honestly. So I'm doing that, but what I want to do is I want to get this out of the way before I concentrate on that, because I'd love to throw myself into it. Because Liz, jeez, I recorded myself. In fact, I wonder if I can show you. Will it come out with the desktop audio? Don't know. Let's have a look. Desktop audio. Yeah. All right. Hang on a minute. Let me just bring up this video. So I had a really long day at work the other day when Liz posted her video, and I just didn't want to type loads of stuff in response to her video to her on Discord. So I recorded myself watching it because it was easier. It sounds like I'm doing like a reaction video. I wasn't. I was doing it for her mainly. But also so I could, like, I don't know, concentrate on reviewing it. Oh, my computer's gone into some kind of dark mode. Oh no, wait, it's this. The light has gone off because it's either on a timer or the battery's run low. I don't know. But I'm going to show you a very small portion of that video. Here we go. So I'm going to give you from about here to about 150. So, what? Oh, hang on. Where's the desktop audio at? Hang on a minute. That should be playing desktop audio. Give me a second. Properties. So on default, it should be on that.
Is the most hated and beloved tool in a musician's arsenal. Drummers swear at them, guitarists ignore them, and pianists worship them. BPM can also get kind of complicated pretty quickly from a music theory perspective. I'm assuming
I'll just move myself
that
over
we're
there.
going for the beat is the chord note and living in a 4/4 time signature construct. Once you start getting into the eighth note having a beat or a dotted eighth having a beat,
what does
and
that mean?
Time, oh man, does it get crazy. So the peanut butter and jelly quarter note, I'm assuming.
So this is why I need Liz.
We're hanging out. And I think really what's going to bring this project along and hold it up and keep it warm at night is going to be the code. And it's going to require math. Now, I'm not great at math. They always say the music teaches
Liz,
you
we
math.
are screwed.
If you're a musician, you're great at math. That's, you know,
So yeah, that's pretty much what I feel about that at the moment. So I want to get this project out of the way. I've turned the light on now because this thing's run out of juice. I've had this for years. I think it's really nice. Yeah, so I want to get this project out of the way so that I can fully concentrate on something that requires some maths, which is one of the scariest things about electronics for me. Oh yeah, sorry if there was some dual audio going on. It was like it was playing to the desktop and my microphone, it turns out, as well. So sorry about that. But I hopefully you get the idea that the number one, what the hell was all that music speak? It's playing in a chord reference with a 4 times something. I don't know what any of that means. Oh, Julian was here for that, I think, maybe. Well, he could probably see it. It's like a weird caterpillar, isn't it? It's my, what is that thing? Oh, it's like the human centipede. God, that's awful. Liz Sanchez like, oh God, I'm really annoyed that didn't come across very well. Sorry. Well, hopefully you got the gist of that anyway. So Liz is interested in doing that project. I really want to do it too because I think Liz is great. But it means I want to get this out of the way before we really work hard on it. And I've already done a little bit. And Liz has already done a little bit as well, I think. Certainly done a lot more of the thinking, the hard work side of it. And I've done a bit more of the experimentation stuff. She's got that xylophone thing, although I think it might be a glockenspiel, because I'm fairly sure a xylophone is a wooden, like, pling plong, pling plong instrument, and she's got a metal one, which I think might be a glockenspiel, but I don't know, maybe there's like a whatever. Right, so that is now wired up. We're going to leave the decimal point for now. Don't think we really need to use it, so we'll just click save. And let's see where it is in the layout. That looks freaking awful. Alright, let's move you all out then. I've got some resistors there in... I like the totem pole resistor thing, so I put some of those in, but I did not think that they were still there, so let's move this group up. God, it's massive, isn't it? Where are they? 10K. Must be these ones. Package 0603. Not those ones. Ah, but it's these. Yeah, it is. 0603, please. No, that is 0603. Not that one either. That one? That's the badger, or at least one of the badgers. But there's another one somewhere. I thought I'd already looked at this one. No, I hadn't. 0603. There we go. So let's move all of those. Control M probably, but I'm not going to do it. Just free eagle. What do you mean it's outside the board? Oh, yeah, okay. I see. I find that very frustrating that when Free Eagle detects that you're outside of the board area, that it won't let you move things, but your board dimensions are fine. And that really bugs me because it just limits your freedom. It's not even about your capabilities. It's more about them just being dicks. This isn't going to be one of those ones that I can monetize, is it? But I'm not going to go back to the old paid Eagle. Well, maybe. We might have to remake this in KiCad if I can't fit 8 of these damn things in here. Julian has a new PCB. I imagine it's going to be some battery charging thing. What? No, 80s audio circuitry. So is this for the vocoder, is it? I hope so. That thing. Oh. So this here tells me that we've got some issues with separation. So let me just run the design rules check and I'll load one. PCBs.io is fairly good. So apply. No. Oh, no, we aren't good. What does that mean? Well, that means we're going to have to move our pads out because it's too close to the frickin' edge. Flip. There's a rap song about being too close to the edge. I can't remember what it is. I'm too close to the edge. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm going to just move them up by, what, like a 0.1 millimeters. I could ignore it, but down here it's still quite large. So, because this isn't even on either side. Don't push me because I'm close to the edge. What song is it though? I can't remember. Oh, it is Grandmaster Flash. Do 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 do. Is that the right song? I think it is. Getting higher, baby. Getting higher, baby. That's the one. White lines really blow my mind. God, I'm sorry. I don't mean to sing. It's not karaoke time. Copyright strike. Yeah, basically, this is probably going to get unlisted now. Also, question. So in my design, I'm having to use quite a few diodes, and it's sort of like diode steering, really. So I'm not using them for anything critical. It's more the reset lines have to not sort of conflict with each other, because the ICs get reset. One of them trips to 6, so that's for the 59 seconds. Trips over to 0 again and then triggers the minutes. And so I need that clock to come from the 6, but also to reset the IC. And so I'm using diodes, but no, this isn't Heineken. This is Corona. I got 3 bottles of the big Corona. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the diodes. So I'm using some diodes. But one of the things I worry about with diodes is getting them the wrong way around. And so I decided to use some of these BAS21, which is just a SUP23 diode. And I like it because there is mostly no way to get it the wrong way around unless you do it upside down. So there should really be no way in getting it wrong. Do you think that's a reasonable package to use? They are 10 pence each, which seems pretty pricey for a diode, honestly, for a little tiny one. But That's what I was thinking. Andy Calloway. Do you know My Sharona is one of my favourite songs, but the lyrics, if you read them or listen to them carefully, not ideal in this day and age. But God, the music is good. It's just so good. Do 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 do. Yeah, it's great. My Sharona. Anyway, so do any of you use the SOC 23 ones just because you don't have to worry about looking at the marking to figure out which way it goes round? Does anyone else do that? Anyway, do you know what? This is one of those things where I haven't really gotten very far. We've been streaming for 2 hours, but we've made a an absolutely massive, ugly part, and I love it so much. Look at it. It's like the octopus with its 10 legs. Maybe. Sven's asked if they're dual diodes. No, they're not dual diodes. So this is the part right here. It's just a single blooming diode in a SOC 23. I'm assuming it's in that SOC 23 so that it is impossible to put the wrong way round. An 80-pus, that's it. You could use the dual diode version of that package and double up the reset lines. I would have thought, does the dual diode one not need 4 pins? Because essentially I only want this reset line to reset when this bit's triggered, but there is going to be a connection between all the reset lines on the other side so that you can reset the whole clock. Or hang on, how am I going to do that? I can't remember. That doesn't need to be there. We don't need that. Hang on a minute. So reset goes to this one. Yeah, connect that net. Thank you. So reset goes to this one. If you were to do the primary reset, it goes to this one. But that reset line also goes into the BAS21 diode and then out into the reset lines of all of the other ICs. But for example, the single seconds one has a reset line from the digit 6 that comes out through a diode going to the clock and also to its own reset. Oh, I'm getting confused because I've had 2 beers already. 2.5 beers already. Anyway, I think that's all I'm going to do because it's getting late. So unless anyone wants to sort of throw some shade, I'll probably leave it here. Actually, no, I won't leave it here. Tell me how you've all been. Are any of you sort of alone in lockdown like me? Also, does anyone want to do a stream where we just play the Commodore 64? Defbomb says his country's lockdown is over. Shark Media says yes, but I like the solitude. I'm not alone, but it feels limited. Colin would love the C64. Okay, sounds good. I'm going to take that as would absolutely love. I should do it. Yeah, Andy, it's mine too, but you know, I've got mates that I can go and see and that I see every week. And there's So like I talked to my mate, pardon me. I've told you all that my best mate is called Dave. It's weird, isn't it? It isn't me. It's not some kind of in my head thing. My best mate is called Dave. I've gone on holiday together. I've known Dave for about 10 years. We're good mates. And so we've been like talking on the phone or doing video calls like most days. And you know, my other friends, people I saw at work every day, you know, I see them on Teams, Microsoft Teams every day. It's not quite the same as being in the same room as them. Like there's something about physical location that makes interaction more meaningful. Also, things are more funny as well when you're there in real life. So people can take cues on your humour a little bit more easily. So, such as when I'm talking to you right now, you might pick up more on some of my obviously genius humour, or well, maybe not. But yeah, so I'm finding it a bit taxing, but honestly, I'm not. There are people in worse situations. So I'm fine, but I do miss my friends. But, you know, thankfully, and there are a few here tonight, but I've got some lovely friends who we have a Discord together. And so Colin's here and Brian's here. And lots of us sort of get together and chat. And that's really nice. It's nice to connect with people, you know, from around the world, really. And Liz as well. Here in Germany, you can actually go to restaurants again. Really? Wow. See, I'm kind of like looking forward to. Hey, Gerald42 is here. Hey, dude, how you doing? Yeah, restaurant. It's more like. I mean, I'm not a big foodie guy, but pubs and stuff. It's not really about the booze. It's more about the atmosphere when you're in there, the feeling of relaxation and people watching and stuff is what I like. So, Matteo says Perifractic has streamed C64 lately. Yeah, Perifractic does a lot of that kind of stuff. He's got a very soothing voice, hasn't he? And now a puppy, I think. Ethan says he's dated 3 mics in a row now. Well, like consecutively. So there were no Daves in there, no Phils. Like, just all mics. Yeah, they want to keep this home working after the crisis. I mean, I don't mind the home working. Like, I think it's quite nice, actually. I think a lot of businesses will benefit from being able to like reduce their office space, but I'd like to occasionally all get together. Pick Scotland says 10 weeks working at home and I'm going crazy. Mate, me too. Defcon got. Is it 5 weeks off work for you? Is that how it's worked? Is it like furloughed, or you just got just sent home and that's it? No, I don't have my own Discord server. It's just a few other people that make YouTube videos. We all get together and have a little chat. Henrik says you use easy can't even say it, easy EDA to do it. Okay. That's Mrs. KFC. Brilliant. They will all stab you in the back. Sorry, I seem jaded. I sort of might have missed what you meant, Shark Media. Sorry. 3 in a row, Ethan. Come on. Not all mics are the same, surely. And I imagine your taste in men is probably similar from bloke to bloke. So, what? Max of 6 people. They only come from 2 households at most. Defcon, you've got loads of stuff in the room to tinker with, so I'm not surprised. Rob E says, not made much of a difference to me. Generally work from home and it's been manic as normal. Yeah, I mean, my job's really like sort of just ranked up. Is that the right term? Ratcheted up? Maybe something like that. So everything's turned to online now. And so I'm a videographer, photographer is my actual job. Not that you can tell from the quality of my videos here, but I don't spend money on my own equipment, and it costs thousands to get a good camera. So that's what I do, and so now I'm just doing a lot of editing of people's iPhone work, really. The company shut down for 5 weeks, so just a bit of a holiday then. Do you still getting paid though? Julian says, very little has changed for me except the house is noisier. So your wife's still there, right? Adam says he's been working from home, 4-year-old around, not being able to bounce ideas off colleagues. Yes, he is. Yeah, Adam, so I do, like, I wish I had a 4-year-old bouncing around here. My best mate, Andrew, one of my best mates. In England, when you say best mate, it just means one of your best mates. I've got like 3 or 4. But Dave is my actual best mate. But Andrew is, I've known for years and years and years, and he's got a kid who's called Toby, and I've made several things for him on the channel, and I miss him to pieces. Like, and he's 4 now. Precocious little shit he is. Yeah, I wish he was bouncing around here. I've offered to take care of him for a day when we all get to do that again. All right. It's bedtime, everyone. I don't care where you're from. It's bedtime. You hear me? No, I'm joking. Thanks a lot for joining me. I'm sorry I didn't get some kind of conclusion here. It's still going to be... Basically, I just have too many beers when I do these, and so I literally don't comprehend what you're telling me. Oh, well... no hairdressers in the UK so far. That's why I'm cutting my own hair with a pair of scissors on top and beard trimmer on the sides. All right, kids, I'm going to do the stop streaming thing. I can't see any of the screen. Can someone tell me how many people are watching? If any. Well, I know you guys, obviously. Oh, nice. Cool. Right, well, 48, 47 people. 58. What? Okay. All right, I love you all. Take care. Thanks for joining me, and I hope it wasn't too terrible. Stay safe. Bye. I haven't pressed end.